Hey, youthful YouTubers, it's me, T. Thanks so much for joining me and watching this video. I literally wanted to come to you guys and talk to you about how when you are a human being on this earth, you have to understand that you are always being watched, you are always being observed, you are always being just like, and you get to be yourself. Don't think that, like, when, and this is the thing, when you are yourself, then you're completely like comfortable with your truth of yourself, right? So there's nothing to hide, there's nothing to lie about. You're just like, whatever, man, I'm just vulnerable, I'm me, I'm like, and vulnerable, maybe it's not even so much vulnerable, you don't have to be vulnerable all the time to be truthful, but you have to, but maybe it is a sense of vulnerability, which is interesting because I never thought about it that way. But the whole thing is, I just want to tell you something that I literally just went through something, and I'm really, really, really happy with how empowered I feel after I have taken the time to express myself, when a long time ago it wasn't the case for me, right? So like, so as I was growing up, I've always been observant to the truth of the matter, right? And I've always been very keen, very self-aware, very aware and self-aware, I should say. And I'm trying to think if I like grew into any of that, but all I know is that maybe I was born that way. Maybe I was also kind of more receptive as I expanded spiritually. So maybe I did grow into a lot of it. I know I definitely did grow into a lot of it, because when you make something a habit, you're gonna expand. It's amazing how it happens, right? So this video is basically telling you guys about how, character is huge. Like, character is so fucking huge that I'm so grateful to my parents for teaching me that, right? So cuz it's like, when your character is off, your fucking foundations are completely fucked. They are. You have to literally like rebuild, constantly be rebuilding on it if your if your foundations are off, because everything else above it, like even your successes, even all of what you worked for, is in a shaky state of mind, right? So the whole thing is, and it's so funny because I feel that, I've literally taken on this, I call it a midlife crisis, but it's like a pre-life crisis that I called it. But I was genuinely guided into that. I didn't know what the hell I was going into, just like no one knows what the hell they're really doing. But I was like guided to go into that, and I basically, came out with this. It was just like this rebuilt me, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't know, like, but all of that had to be broken down first. That's the crazy part. So I had to break myself down first. I had to get rid of all of the shit that no longer served me. And I literally was going through like this fucking crazy spiritual growth that people were like, yo, what the fuck is, what's Tina up to? They were used to me being happy go lucky. I was like, go with the flow on everything. I like really kind of kept the peace, and I still do all of that. It's just very interesting in how, because a lot of it means a lot to me, right? But the whole thing is, I've also become braver. I've also become, more authentic, and I've always been authentic to myself. But now I've reached this certain level of authenticity where it's just like, move out the way because I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, that's basically how it is. And it's not even that I don't give a fuck about other people. It's because I give so much of a fuck about you that I'm willing to tell the truth, right? Like, I give a fuck about myself, and I'm willing to tell the truth. I'm willing to fucking let people know about themselves so they can fucking, handle the truth in their own terms. And the truth is actually love, right? But, growing up, I was so scared of the delivery because I knew that there was a power within me that was like scary. It was like a roar. It was like a beast. You know what I'm saying? So because there was passion behind it, because there's drive, there's like this energy. And like, I was scared to kind of express that because it was very, I knew initially it didn't make people feel good. Like, it made people feel uncomfortable, which was in my mind a total complete opposite of, trying to keep the peace, right? But the thing is, I've learned that you're allowed to drop what my friend, who I love you, Andrea. She taught me a long time ago that if you have something to say, drop the truth bomb in on it and just walk away, right? And I so greatly understood that, but I couldn't really put my physical self into it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I knew she was right. I just somehow wasn't able to literally do that just yet, because I felt uncomfortable with myself to be like, who the fuck am I to be doing this to people, to be literally shattering their freaking belief systems and their beliefs about themselves and beliefs about situations that are going on to them, when it's like everything's easier from the outside looking in. Now, this is the funny part. I love the easy life. So my whole thing is, and the harmonized life, right? So my whole thing is, if I love the ease of that, I will share it with others. And that's the funny thing. It's like people say it's so easier said than done. It's easy for me to say, so I'm going to start easily saying it to people so that they could eventually do it, right? And it's and that's where my ease is. And they actually always have said I've always been a huge studier in terms of my own life purpose. Like, ever since I was like 11, I think, and I found out about what a life purpose is, I was driven. I was like, I'm gonna find mine. Like, I just like knew that I was out to freaking figure it out. And so amongst my studies, I've realized that, studies of life purpose, I've realized that a lot of what people say, or I've read in some studies that, or some findings that, your life purpose, or what you're supposed to be doing, comes so easy to you that you don't even realize that it's part of your life's work, right? And it's so funny because mine was always just observing other people, and then, maybe the truth part of it wasn't like so easy for me, but it was because I was willing to just go there. However, my whole thing is, I was like, oh shit, I'm fucking scared. You know what I'm saying? And it's scary because that you're gonna get like, excuse me, you're gonna get lashed out at. People are gonna say you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. They're gonna get so defensive, and and I'm just being me. Like, I just like, but and the whole thing is, it's like I was always also thinking, like, I call myself a former perfectionist. So like, literally, I was thinking, oh shit, if the delivery is off, I'm definitely getting my ass kicked in some sort of way verbally by other people. You know what I'm saying? Because if they can't handle it, I'm shaking up their world, and they're gonna fucking just, they're gonna blow up in my face. So I have to be ready for these blow ups if I don't fucking communicate them right? So today, it was very interesting. I got into, and today is like a full moon, a type of energy, which is in Capricorn. I'm that sign. I'm also the I'm also the rising sign, the Scorpio rising sign. That's what I have. Took me a second to say that. So, okay, sorry. I like, my brain went elsewhere, and I had to just like deal with it for a second. So, and you know what? I'm probably going to do that throughout, some of my videos. So just get used to it, because sometimes you just have to kind of clear stuff out as it comes in, if it's negative too. So like, I had to clear away a negative thought. I'm literally always working. That's all I have to say. I'm always working in towards of bettering myself. I'm always working towards, so that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm doing a video, I'm still working. Like, this is work, along with my purging. That's always going to be a work, and I'm not going to give up on it, because of the fact that I know that the results that it has given me over time has been fucking amazing. Like, I really truly believe, and this is not even in comparison to anybody else, I really, just for myself, I just know that I live a damn good fucking life. Like, I live a damn good fucking life. In whatever situation I'm in, I'm still living a good life. Like, I still am fucking happy, and I'm fucking joyous, and I'm still aware of everything that's going on around me. I go with my gut feeling, so that adds to my happiness. I'm not afraid to tell the truth. I'm not afraid to just be authentically me. And I'm like, all this stuff, and I have great character in terms of what I've been taught in my life, So this is actually one of the reasons why I want to open up a charity very soon. I just have to figure out how it's done. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a charity for adopted children who don't have who did not basically, maybe still don't, obviously still don't, if they're still orphans, but but like my whole thing is, it's like my parents, I've realized growing up, have taught me so fucking much that I'm like about character, maybe not, and maybe molding a personality of what I am today, but also I did the work on my personalities. You get what I'm saying? Like, you always do the work on your own personality, I feel. Now that's also just something bluntly said, so I don't know if that's like a download, or if I have to think about that. But it's like one of those things that, like, I just know that I'm going to, so going back to what I was saying, I want to open up a charity that is basically for kids that need to be adopted, so orphans and foster care kids, that basically I am able to teach them, different forms of, just character traits and personality traits, because these are the foundations of what a fucking person needs, so that they can expand on their authentic self, right? And I'm just so blessed to have that, because all of what I've learned, I have completely just added onto it. And at one point, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to say it all came crumbling down, but like I kept what I needed to keep, but I also got rid of so much social conditioning that I did not believe in after a while, because it just logically didn't make sense to me. I'm like, who the fuck is saying this? Who the fuck is saying that? Who the fuck came up with these things? So once I started thinking for myself, like, and gave myself my own authority figure, like lead role in my life, which is, I always say, it's me and God, and whoever else are just people. I love you people, I love myself as a person, but I know the truth. I have to know my own truth so that I can actually be of benefit to society, right? So that's the whole thing. So long story short, I'm just trying to think. Okay, so I went through a situation. Now this is very interesting. I'm not going to even go into the situation, because I'm not about that drama. I just want to explain to you, that at every moment in your life you are being watched, right? And I don't give a fuck. So, and also, at any given time, you don't know who the fuck you're dealing with. That's the whole thing. You have no idea. You can have a perception of, oh, I've been with this friend, I've been friends with this person for so long, and I could do whatever, like I can chill, I can be myself or whatever. That's all great and good. But if you choose to make decisions based off of your shadow side, know that at one point, depending on who your friend is, whether some people like to make decisions ASAP, like that's me. I just fucking go, because you know what? I like to live my clean life, because as fast as you get rid of all the fucking garbage and bullshit, that's how fast and easy new great things are going to come. So I love that new freshness. I love it. I will risk it all for that freshness, because, and that's like, I have pure faith in that, right? Pure faith in the better. Not that I'm looking even for I'm not even looking for what's it called, perfectionism in people. I'm just looking for, I just know that I, for myself, want to be surrounded by damn good fucking characters and personalities, and let's have fun in this world, right? But like a lot of the times people think they are of this, but then they're actually fucking not. Do you know what I'm saying? So life is a whole bunch of discovery. And the thing is, so my whole thing is, people can see my world from the outside in and think whatever they want, but the truth of the matter is, I know what the fuck is going on in my world, and I'm happy. And I'm always open to different people's perspective on things, because, it's you living in your own world have your own one perspective. I like variety, so give me all the perspectives you have, and let me see if I could actually make my life even better from it. So like my whole thing is, I'm very open. I'm not even, and when it comes to the truth, I fucking love the truth. Like, as much as it may hurt, I'm still like fucking cool with it. Like, I'm like, me and the truth, we're like best friends. We're like the tightest friends. We're like BFFs for life. BFFL. Yeah, BFFL. I love it. Because seriously, and no one else can give me that. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, not no one else can give me that, but it's like I myself have to depend on myself for that. And whoever gives me anything from the outside, I get to think about it. I get to be open and open and non-emotional about it, and think about it, and then also try to see if I'm supposed to really kind of like, what's it called? Really kind of like alter my anything in my life to make it better. So I welcome that, right? A lot of people don't think that, and you can think that, but like I know that about myself. That it's like, just come to me with the truth. I know how to handle it. Like, it's not a big deal, right? Sometimes you really do have to. You're human, right? You have emotions, so you're gonna have to like process these things emotionally, where it's just like, damn, the truth really fucking hurts. It makes you uncomfortable, blah 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 blah. But you sit with it, and you're like, all right, well, I know this. What can I do to better it? You know what I'm saying? Or how can I improve on this? Or, damn, that sucks. I wish I wasn't that way. But that could also be my fucking strength, because that's what I figured out too about myself. Growing up, people have told me all kinds of bullshit. And I was like, oh damn, and it would make me more go into my shell, like, oh, I don't want to be like that. Oh, I don't want to be like that. But then after a while, I started building, and then I realized to myself, I don't know why my laptop just did that. It just changed lighting. I love it, so thank you, because I was trying to fix it before. So my whole thing is, I went back into my shell, and I was like, oh shit, like, I don't know what I'm even doing in this life. Like, I'm quote unquote hurting people, and I don't want to do that shit. And but then after a while, it's like life spat me the fuck out. It was just like, no, you're gonna go do this. You're gonna fucking go do this. It's gonna hurt a little bit, but you're gonna do good. Like, and I just know that all good comes from whatever I do, because that is my intention, right? So because I have no time for anything else. That's exactly why. Some people may ask, like, oh, how do you really know? Because I know, because I control myself, because I control my emotions, my behavior, my mindset, my thoughts, like everything is, and it's not a bad control. It's not like, oh, like, let me go any, no, it's actually a flowing type of control, which is very interesting, because I've never even realized that either. Um, so it's a good type of control. It's a positive, it's a healthy one. It's keeping yourself in line, in alignment, in check with yourself, right? Because you know how the saying goes, if you're not in check with yourself, you're gonna wreck yourself. And you're like, and literally, but the wreckage, literally, I'm telling you right now, and this is not even to scare anybody, but I'm saying that the wreckage can come at any point, but it's also a decision, right? All things are based off of your decision. So that, I basically felt like I went through a wreckage, and then I rebuilt myself back up. But I knew that there are things in this life that I'm willing to sacrifice things for my happiness, right? And happiness takes a lot of fucking work. And so I basically had to wreck myself in order to check myself. No, I've always been checking myself. And the wreckage has never really came. But the thing is, yeah, I don't know why the wreckage came. I'm telling you, just God was like, yo, you're doing this, and you're like, just go. And I was like, all right, man, let's go, So, yeah, that's why I just trust so much that, like, everything is for my highest and best good. So, like, I don't even give a shit. I'm very adaptable. I don't, like, it's in his hands. And I know he's created me. I know he did a good job with creating me. Like, I know it. So if he created me, I believe that he's going to create amazing things in my world and our world in more ways than one, right? So, okay, so why I decided to come on YouTube right now and decide to, okay, this is why. Sorry, sometimes I get off track, but there's a lot of wisdom in my random, so I hope you like it. And it's not even about you to like it. It's just you to kind of like listen to me, and and just hear the downloads that I get, and the processes or the process of all the emotions that I go through. So it's just kind of like, it's just you're observing me in a sense, and I'm grateful for that. Why not? So okay, so what got me on here was so interesting, because I literally, today I was thinking to myself, okay, so I went through something which was so interesting. It was with a friend, and okay, let's take into consideration, today is a really powerful full moon. It's in Capricorn. I can't really recite back all of the things that it's good for, but I just know that it's a lot of purging. Full moons are complete purging. Now, that can happen with everything. One thing that came into my mind today was very interesting. So into my world, rather, not even into my mind, was I was contemplating. I had a friend for a very long time, and I was contemplating you know, and the way that I work my life is really interesting. Like something came up into our world in terms of girl code shit, right? I'm just gonna leave it at that. Girl code shit, and you know, just basically things that I'm like trying to think about how to express it. Like things that I personally would never do, or I would make sure to do if I had some sort of, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like drive towards whatever it is that I want. So let's say it's a guy, right? Totally cool. So if you have, so I don't even know how to explain this very well, but let me just try. So my friend, I've been friends with her for a long time. She's had a boyfriend for years, and you know, and always what came out of her mouth was always, oh, you know, you're always a friend. You're always a friend that I can trust, which is the truth. Because I am not like normal. You know, I'm not like normal women. Like I was even thinking about it this morning, and I was like, yo, I'm definitely not like normal women. Definitely not. I'm like superhuman woman. Like I don't even fucking know, because it's like some of the shit that I do is not what other women would ever be brave enough to do. Okay, so here's one example that crossed my mind this morning. Was at one point I was with a group of people. I knew that a girl had hooked up with a guy. I started hanging out with that specific guy, and it right after, and it was a louder type of hangout, right? So where it's like that girl knew I was hanging out with him, and she was like, what the fuck, you know? And I straight up came out to her, and I told her, listen, I'm just literally hanging out with him like as a friend, so you don't have to worry about anything happening. Like this is not like, I don't do that shit. I don't do it because I don't like it when it happens to me, and I would never fucking expect any of that shit to happen to me, or would I ever give it out, because I just understand girl code. I understand the simple idea of respect. I think that's what it comes down to, right? And that again is a character fucking trait. If you want to be respected, you give out respect. And if you disrespect everything around you, then you're going to be fucking disrespected. And you know what? It's going to show in your actions, and you're not going to, and the thing is, from such a young age, I've always held this personal integrity about myself, and it's not to be better than anybody, but it's to know that people are, in fact, watching my every move. Like, I have a reputation to fucking, somebody's yelling. You were gonna have to ignore that. But, I might have to just yell for a second. Hold on. I'm just waiting for it. Mom, not right now. So, anyhow, okay, so that was a story to tell you guys, to show you guys like what type of person I am. I literally straight out told her, like, don't worry, I'm not a threat to you, because I don't like threats. Like I don't like the feeling of them. They don't add to my peace. I don't even fucking see myself as a threat to other people, because I just don't do that shit. Even though some women, of course, that's the truth, some people find me a threat of a certain thing, of a certain, I don't know, in a certain way, just because of the fact that I am confident, right? And confident is sexy, and sexy will literally hone in on anything that comes around, right? So like, but the whole thing is, I also have, what's it called? Like fuck it, I don't know, like self-restraint. Yeah, self-restraint, because, and I also know like what I want within me, so it's not like it's not hard for me to do, you know what I'm saying? So, okay, so anyhow, long story short, by the way, I'm wearing the same dress as the other day, which I was like contemplating, I'm like, should I like change for the YouTube video? And then I was like, no, fuck it, I don't give a shit, because guess what? After high school, no one gives a shit about what you wear, and the thing is, no, like, it really doesn't. You can wear like whatever you want. Like, that's why also minimalism is also an awesome thing after you get out of high school, because college, no one gives a shit. You're wearing the same sweatshirts and the fucking same jeans as you would anyway, like in college. Like, no, and not to say that I'm dirty. No, that's not true. I'm just saying that I like to wear what I love. You know what I'm saying? So, and what I'm trying to say is also minimalism is so much easier, I feel like, as an adult than you would be a kid, because you feel so judged as a kid. But like, dude, when you get older, it's like no one's really fucking judging. I mean, at least in my world, I don't feel like I don't give a fuck if anybody's judging. It's just like, you do your thing, I'll do mine, you know? So, And I know that when I do my thing, it's never a judgment, because I literally I'm very open-minded about what about everything, because it's all a teaching for me, and I just share it on with the world, right? So, all right, so here's the thing. So, okay, so girl code, it basically, it's a respectful thing. Now, the other day what I did was, I had a text message come in, and it was about, like, it was a friend sharing, what's going on in her world, and how she was contacted by this mutual friend of a guy that we had, right? And the thing is, it's like, it's so funny, because, like, I don't know what the fuck. I'm not even trying to. This is the thing. I personally don't know where I am right now, but my whole thing is, options are always open. Like, so, and I'm talking about opportunities in business, opportunities in love, opportunities in whatever the fuck you want, right? In yourself, in building yourself, those options are open too. So, long story short, she contacts me, and she was like, blah blah blah. This so and so reached out to me. He wants to get together. Da, da, da. And I said, all right, that's cool, whatever. I mean, because I personally know, excuse me, that I'm not in anything formal of a relationship with anybody. So everybody's a free spirit. God bless. However, I just knew that there could be in the future a possibility of that person and I, since we've been chilling or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know. I'm so detached from it. But at the same time, there could be something there between me and him. So it's like, if there's A, me, B, him, and C, her, right? So if C gets in the way in between A and B, what the fuck, man? You can call that a done deal. Like, it's like basically, like, you can't, first of all, like, what I'm saying is, if B gets with C, there's no room for A. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that there's no room for A, because I'm just, like, literally putting it into basics, but it's like, the whole thing is, how can A even be given the opportunity to see where this thing goes, right? If somebody just inserts themselves right away. Now, there's many details to this, which makes it so fucking illogical as to why C would want to go and hang out with B, right? B is in boy. I love that. I love A and B because I come first. B is in boy because he comes second, and C is the courage that it takes to get in between A and B, but it may not happen, right? That's my story, okay? So maybe I just gave them names, which is hilarious. So funny enough though, B had told me the same shit that he told to C, and I think he forgot, and I was like, whoa. So I was sideswiped from the get, because I was like, yo, what the fuck? I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, just went on. But I knew, like, spiritually, I know the truth as if what happened, right? Like, it's just so funny, because, like, I don't even have to ask anybody. Like, I literally don't go hunting. I don't give a fuck. Like, after I'm kind of questioning, I'm sitting here and I'm like, yo, A, and I talked to the A team straight up. I'm like, A, I don't deserve this, and that I'd fucking cut this shit out so quickly. B, I was like, but what if? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if there was something there and I just didn't catch on, and that person didn't catch on, and, like, we just, because, there was a building of a foundation there, but it could have been just solely friendship, or it could have been even more, right? Like, you don't fucking know. I mean, my whole thing is, I want there to be a friendship first, and then, the foundation of a friendship is awesome, and then whatever comes after it came after. But this was kind of, like, interesting, because it was, like, kind of, like, midway into the build, whatever. So, long story short, this person, tells me that she's gonna whatever, go hang out with him, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, like, that's cool. And I had to process a lot of emotions at that point, because I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I just had to keep the motion moving. Like, I had to move through the emotions, process them, and, like, mind blown at the wisdom that came out of it, which was, so I was, like, so very grateful, and I wrote it down. I just don't have it with me, so I might have to create, like, another video about it, which I will, because I feel like it's going to be a different kind of, like, energetic feel to it. So now this is just more so, like, releasing, but also storytelling, but also, like, hey, be aware that your fucking actions impact other people, and be aware that you're always being watched and you're always being quote unquote tested. But even though I don't like to see it like that, because guess what? If you saw yourself as an integrity filled person, you're never gonna be fucking tested, bro. You're never like my whole thing is I don't feel that God tests me all the time. I don't. I just like handle what he gives me in terms of the truthful aspect of myself, and then I move on. Like there's nothing that I'm going to be like, yo, I'm being tested right now, blah 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 blah. No, because I know that I always fucking pass the test when I'm authentic in myself. Like that's how God made me, man. I don't have nothing against me in terms of anything. I believe that full throttle. I really don't. Like, and even if you were, then you know that it's like I'm sorry that you feel that way, but that's not my belief. You know what I'm saying? And I can't care for that. Like I literally can't give time or energy to that, right? So okay, so long story short, I literally tell her because I don't need to create a situation out of nothing. It would be creating a situation out of assumption. But I literally go to tell her and I was like, okay, listen, have fun, but always go with your gut feeling, right? And so she's like, yeah, okay, no problem. She's like, and then like knowing that I'm like psychic, like I'm intuitive. She wanted to get information from me, and I'm like, no, I just know that this is not my place to give information. I'm not gonna even do that. I wasn't even getting anything, right? I was just getting to like just fucking do me, right? And so I sent her the thing, and I said, all right, yeah, so go have fun. And I was really genuine about that. Go have fun because like it's an opportunity or whatever. But inside, I know what the fuck is going on, and you know, and my whole thing is that's why I kind of told her go with your gut feeling and see like how you feel, because maybe giving the benefit of the doubt will actually, you know, help these people kind of sort like their, you know, be comfortable enough to be in their emotion to kind of sort their stuff out and to make better decisions. So I'm never like, you know, like go with your gut, whatever. I don't. My whole thing is do you, I'll do me. That's the same. That's the thing. And when you do the best of yourself, I mean, I normally do the best of myself, but I can't expect other people to do the best of themselves. So, but what I'm trying to say is also when you do the best for yourself, which is being in your truth, which is just owning everything you got or you don't have or whatever, then you literally can make it's easier for you because you're so cleansed from the inside. You're like keeping it pure that, and this is with your actions, this is with everything in life, all details, that you are like literally gifted like a higher gut feeling. Your gut feeling is like now clear. There's no garbage around it. There's like no nothing. You're not handling everything because you've already handled it right when it comes in. It's like literally being your own like what is it called, like a admin assistant. Do you know what I'm saying? Like where you're just like, all right, you're just handling tasks, and that's all that it is, you know? So once you handle the tasks and not procrastinate on the task, they're completed, they're done, they're fucking, you know, or you think they're done, you know what I'm saying? Until they come back, and you might have to process them a couple of more times, but like, who fucking cares? Because every time it gets easier, you get like some sort of creative insight about it, right? So that's how I left her with it. I said, listen, have fun, go with your gut. That's it. Like, I'm not going to tell you anything else. She didn't ask me anything else. Like, she knew what was going on. She knew about the hangout. She knew like how often we were hanging out. We had a very recent conversation about all of this stuff where she told me some things that I was like, oh, this is something for me to even think about, but for you, like, you didn't even think about any of the stuff that you said to me, like in terms of like the information that you gave, whatever. It's crazy. What I'm saying is, the whole thing is, it's like I can't expect that from other people too, because we all have different levels of self-love. We all have different levels of self-respect. We all have different levels of, you know, how we perceive things. And I knew that this chick has not woken up to her authentic self yet. I just know this because I've known her for a long time, and I love her because she's a human being and she's truthful, but I don't think she's truthful enough with herself. So when she came out to me and she was like, oh, but it seems like you know something I don't, and I was like, nah, I don't know anything. Like, I don't know anything because I don't want to get involved, because that's not my fucking space. It's not my place at all. Like, I don't mingle with what God is creating right now. I'm just learning. I'm here to learn, literally. That's it. So, long story short, and that might not even make sense, but it makes sense to me, so whatever. So, always know that when somebody's explaining something, they might not even have the right capacity in explaining what they're trying to say. Do you get what I'm saying? So you have to be a little bit lenient, and you have to really come into terms with understanding them. So that's why I never see anything as a judgment towards me, because I feel like if I'm open to everybody else's way of expressing themselves, and if I try to understand them better, or I try to meet them halfway to be like, oh, is this what you meant, or is this, then I know that the truth will eventually come out, and it's not something to be fought, it's just something to be discussed. So like, that's what I'm saying, when just don't take every word as I'm saying it, just feel more of it in terms of what I'm trying to say, right? Because even though I love communication, sometimes I don't have the right expressions or the right words to say it in, you know. Um, so okay, so then today rolls around, and it's funny because it's I just have to say I'm really fucking awesome at how I handled it. I just am. It's like I'm ridiculously awesome at how I fucking handle this shit, because I handled it like a boss. Like I do, and a lot of the stuff is handled like a business to me. Not that not that like love is a business, but it's more so decisions are always business decisions, like for yourself. Like, if you know you deserve something, or if you know that you're out for something, you are going to get that in by the decisions that you make, right? So it's like whatever. So my whole thing, and this is the whole thing, I'm not even that aggressive when it comes down to like, I'm a go-getter when the flow is there, but I'm not that aggressive when I like literally have this balance of letting go and flowing, and being aggressive and allowing. Like there's different times where you have to feel into these things. So before, when I was talking to her through the text, it was more allowance. I was like, okay, allowing, and then here's a tidbit, very important tidbit that some people they overlook, but your gut feeling is fucking huge. Okay, this is how I'm so successful at my life, and it will always be thanks to my intuition, because it's what got me to where I am so profoundly wealthy. And by the way, my wealth is my wisdom. So that's all I gotta say. I can fucking just stop there. I'm fucking infinitely wealthy in my wisdom. So it's like I don't have to prove nothing to anybody, you know. So okay, so she asked if I had any insights, and I said no, just go with your gut feeling and see whatever. But in my mind, I was like, yo, and anybody can call this sneaky. I don't give a shit. But this came at me. I was not even looking for it. So it's whatever. You can take it as that. You can take it any which way you want, but I'm taking it in the most highest and best and positive way possible, right? But real, but like authentic, but real. You know what I'm saying? So, so anyhow, long story short, today, a day or two passes by. I know that, the meetup happens or whatever. And I don't reach out to that person. That person also, as she was talking to me, like initially a couple of days back, like, she was like, yo, we should hang out, this and that. I'm like, yeah, we'll see. Like, I told her I was busy, which I am with family and stuff, but I was like, I need to do a video. So my whole thing is, I'm actually, and it's funny because I'm like, I don't even experience boredom in my life. So when I say that I'm busy, I'm being productive, and I am doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? I just have fun, you know? So I'm basically being productive and having fun, and that's how I like to live my life. And I don't have to say it in any other way. That's exactly how I want it to be. So, all right. So long story short, she contacts me today, and she tells me what goes down, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, this is kind of cool. And it's so funny because there's like so much like snippets of like audacity in there. That I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, bro. Like, this is like all crazy, right? So I basically just had to tell her, we were talking back and forth. I was joking around a little bit, and she wasn't getting what I was saying, and I basically, like, I'm not gonna read you back the text, but I basically told her, I was like, I don't think you're understanding where I'm coming from. I was like, yo, you just totally violated fucking girl code. Like, that's it. And my whole thing is, it's not hard to keep to the girl code. It's only hard when you're not a respectful person. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the only way where it's hard. That's the only way where you're gonna fuck up, because you were so out for yourself that you didn't actually see the whole scenario in terms of what it was, and you just fucking went in like like a fucking hunter. Like you just fucking went in, and I'm just like, dude, are we not friends? That's what I want to say. Are we not friends? Friends mean like it's like for so, and not only that, I'm not just any friend. Like I'm a trustworthy friend, and let me just tell you something. This is one of the things why I can walk away so nicely and easily. I mean, also I have to thank my Scorpio self for that, because I feel like Scorpios do that shit. Like they're just like, you know what, peace out, motherfucker. And then my Capricorn side is so rational that I'm like, yo, it's only rational for me to peace out because I know what I want and I know I'm gonna get it, and I know this person's not giving it to me. You know what I'm saying? So, long story short, I am a respectful friend. You even know that. You've said that back to me. So if you know that, you should be appreciative of your respectful and trustworthy friend, and don't try to fuck me over. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to do that to you. I ain't trying to do it to you. That's basically number one. Number two, a respectful friend deserves fucking respect back. So if you can't, and this is self-love, if you can't give that respect back, then why are we friends in the first place? Because friends should be able to freely give respect back and forth to one another. You know what I'm saying? Even throughout them dealing with any kind of stuff, of emotions or whatever, I don't give a fuck. I know that she's not going through anything that emotional, like in terms of like obviously you're putting yourself in a position where you want to have fun. So amen. You know what I'm saying? You're fine. That's all I'm trying to say. No, so C is, I don't know what I had in mind for C, but C is like, I just don't tolerate that shit. So, and now bring on the D, because D is where I kind of like stepped into my power just recently. I mean, I'm talking about probably through the processing of all this shit, that I'm like, yo, you can't have a relationship without fucking not communicating, right? I mean, you can't have a great one without communication. So, and I know I want a great one, so I was like, I take this as practice. B, no longer am I dealing with sleeping people. So if you're asleep to the fact that you don't know, you can't see the girl code within this all, I can't help you with that. Like, you're just gonna have to learn that shit on your own, because the whole thing is, it's like, you should have been taught that when you were younger. And again, this is why I also want to deal with, what is it called, with blah 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 blah, with orphans and foster care children, because they were never taught this. How can we expect this from them? Do you know what I'm saying? I also don't expect that from other people, but I do at the same time, because I can't expect anything too crazy from other people, because they weren't raised by my parents and I wasn't raised by theirs. So I don't know how their world works. They don't know how my world works. But all I know is I deserve respect, and if I'm not getting that respect, I'm moving on. Like, it's that fucking simple. And it's not anything, people are so attached to, oh, but what if this happens? But what if that happens? But I can't, I'm telling you right now, do it. Like, you can. This is how I make my fucking leaps, is because I am so for the better. I am so for, I know I have it good right now. I know I have it good right now in this moment. That's why I don't even ask for better. If you ask the 18, they'd be like, yo, Tina could be asking for so much more and she's not. And I'm like trying to get there, because I'm so grateful in terms of what I have here right now, that I'm like, I don't really need, like, I expect better to always happen to me, but I don't really need it right now, because I have, the better is here right now. You know what I'm saying? But since life is ever changing, I am definitely worthy of expecting better for myself in terms of what I'm going to be, what's going to be entering my life, right? So, long story short, I had to tell her about herself, and I was like, listen, I don't think you're understanding it, but, because she's like LOLing, and she's like, and I'm like, that was the last response. Like, and it took a little bit, I mean, okay, this is through text message, but I'm like, any form of communication with me is good, because the thing is, I, again, read energy, and I, again, read, like, I again, like, go with my gut feeling. So it's like, to me, anybody who's like being pissed off about, they're texting me instead of talking to me, I don't give a fuck. You know what? Communication is communication. That's actually, and I know for myself that I usually process communication better through writing, because I feel like I take the time to literally write the shit out instead of reacting. So I sometimes even prefer texting. Like, it may be a millennial thing about me, but I feel like any type of communication is respect, and And I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I'm never one to be like, oh my god, they fucking texted me about it. They never. Yo, we're in this world right now. You have to just adapt to it. Like that's it. You know what I'm saying? So if you like, I feel like I could do better in terms of calling people. Um, but at the same time, like I'm a little scared of that too. And I don't know why. I think it was because the business side of like myself, like when you call a person, it's kind of more like business essence, and I'm just like I don't need to do that. You know, I'm feeling so much in my heart right now because I feel like, you know, and I've always asked, it was like, God, why am I so weird about the phone? Like why is it? And I just feel like that I'm sensitive, and because I've put all this pressure on myself and not knowing how to communicate, you know, in the best way, like in a just calm, cool, collected manner, because I'll literally rip anybody a new one. Like this is how I communicate, and it's like I don't know how to. Like my whole thing is I will over time eventually know how to stop it. You know, in terms of just ripping up a new one, like you know, different scenarios call for that shit, right? So like I get it, and thank God I have it within me, but at the same time you don't need it all the time. And I've learned, actually I've learned that from my family too, is like the way that we communicate is through like power and passion and who's right and blah blah blah. And I'm like, and I've stepped out of that zone a while ago, because I'm like, I don't need to be right, dudes. I just need to be happy, and that's where I am right now. You know what I'm saying? And when you're happy, is there really a need for you to communicate any other way other than just, you know, hey, this is what's going on? It's a discussion. It's a fucking discussion. And so discussions can happen through fucking texting or through a phone call. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. I don't. And I don't care about what another person thinks either, because you're lucky to be at one point getting communication from me when sometimes I don't even feel like fucking dealing with this situation. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's not that I don't feel like dealing with the situation. I don't know what I meant to say there. I just meant to say, you know, no one wants to be dealing with this bullshit situation that other people create. So I didn't create the situation, and yet you want me to talk to you about it, and yet it's not an ideal situation for the both of us because you only thought about yourself. So, and now you want me to give you some sort of more information? No, I get to stop whenever the fuck I want to stop. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically it. And a lot of times these people get so mad and, oh, you're so fucking selfish. You know what was selfish? When you didn't fucking, when you don't listen to your gut feeling, that's fucking selfish, because things steer in a different fucking direction from where they justly could have went, right? That's number one. Number two is when you, so that's, yeah, that's your gut feeling. So number two is like you create your own fucking, by your decisions, which comes from your gut, you create, and maybe not so much gut, sometimes the decisions come from ego. So I'm going to correct myself on that, because you are out for yourself and you're not thinking about anybody else in the scenario or the scenario in general. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's very important to kind of see what you're being given around you. So you're going to be like, okay, this is what's going on. I don't want to look like this asshole, or, you know, I don't want to be this asshole, or, you know, I don't want to feel a certain nasty way, so I'm not going to go do this. Do you know what I'm saying? So my whole thing is, you know, you have to follow your feelings on what your energy is bringing to another person's world. Do you get what I'm saying? I know my shit is quality. It's quality, because I don't actually like go enter another person's world trying to make them miserable or trying to do any of this, because I don't have time for that shit. You know what I'm saying? I have time for love. I have time for all this positive vibes. I have to everything else that doesn't make me feel good, because in a sense that I am like a light for many people. You know what I'm saying? And if my light's not shining as bright, then I can't help many people. That's what people don't understand. They think it's a selfish thing, but I have to be selfish a smidge to basically help the most amount of people I can possibly help with my own energy. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is. You have to set your boundaries up in order to be happy, genuinely happy. And genuine happiness is felt. You know, you can feel it through a picture, you can feel it through YouTube, you can feel realness, you could feel happy, you could feel authenticity. You know what I'm saying? I said that weird. You could feel authenticity through any form of, you know, like energy, whatever. So people don't realize that, but a picture is energy, YouTube is energy, I'm energy. Everything is energy around, right? Like everything, every object, people, places, you know, it's every noun is like energy, right? So long story short, so I just had to tell her about herself, and you know, this has been coming to me for a little bit too, which is so interesting. you know, and we don't hang out a lot, so it's kind of like, I want to say in a sense easier. The thing is, you know, I still love her no matter what. I still love people that I decide to, you know, kind of pull back on because of the fact that, guess what, you know, at the end of the day, it should be all love. So I actually forgive her because she's sleeping. She's a sleepwalking person around in this thing. That's why I love bringing awareness to people, because it wakes people the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, that's like, her and I don't talk on a consistent basis because we're at different levels, and that's fine. But the thing is, I'm also not going to spend my time teaching, you know, one person when I could be teaching many, which is you guys, right? So so that's the whole thing. So like, yeah, if she wanted to hop on this YouTube, I still love you. Like, I still have so much love for you, and I'm saying that from the bottom of my heart, because the thing is, you know, the person, you know, a person makes a mistake, and we're all out to make mistakes, but respect, to actually disrespect somebody, is a very big mistake, like, in my eyes. Like, you because people are aware of what they're doing, and I'm not, by the way, I'm not getting rid of the fact that B, the boy, has, he like the he's not out just yet either. Do you get what I'm saying? Because he needs to be communicated to in terms of how I'm supposed to be treated, and how that's never to happen again. You know what I'm saying? And my whole thing is, in the past, I used to be like, yo, fuck both of them, and I would just like toss it. But since I seriously find he's one person in a very long time that I have found to be a true connection, and I don't know what that means just yet. But I'm saying authentic person in terms of feelings. You know what I'm saying? Not afraid to be with their feelings. Not a lot of guys are willing to do that. So like, you know, there's time to be told there too, in terms of which way that can go too. He can either get the boot or stick around. You know what I'm saying? And it's also, it's timing, but it's also my decision too. Like, I have to feel out the situation. I've yet to feel it out, but I have to, just like Gary Vaynerchuk had once said, and I fully fucking believe it. He had once said, when it comes down to business, if there's a fucking person that's in the business causing havoc, like being like an asshole, being the cancerous person out of the entire like company. So, you know, there was this one guy that had approached him, and he was like, I work for my dad, but my dad always sides with this guy who's a fucking lowlife, or whatever you called him, right? He was just like, he basically said like, my dad's always taking the other guy's side, and he's like, and I'm just not happy at the company anymore. And so you see, there's a person with a little bit of courage going in, and that's not negative courage, going in to try to see what they can how they can ruin a good thing, right? So you have to watch out for these people, you know what I'm saying? And if you kind of see it already happening, you're allowed to be like, yo, you're out. I don't know, get them the fuck out as fast as possible. That's the whole thing. And that's what Gary Vaynerchuk said. That's basically what Gary Vaynerchuk said. He said basically, he was like, yo, you have a cancerous person in a company. He's like, you have to get rid of them. And this was his advice, which I purely agree with. He said, go up to your father, explain all of what you're feeling, all of what you're sensing. I really need water around here. Oh, I do have water. Excuse me for 1 second. Okay, so he said, go to your father, tell him exactly what you want from him, what you're feeling, why you can't seem to do the shit that you want, the shit that you can, like, that you used to do or whatever. And he was like, just go explain it to your father, and if your father takes it in a negative way, he's like, no, don't worry about it, like, he's fine, or like, you know, like, you'll be okay, or doing something like that, then he goes, you know what, you need to take yourself and peace the fuck out. And that's basically what it is. So my whole thing is, I used to be the person who would actually not even fucking tell the other person. I would see what's going on, and I'd be like, I'm bouncing. Like, I would not even have to express myself to the other person, because I feel like the other people, maybe I was scared. B, I also feel like, you know, it was my delivery and I knew that my shit would be explosive if it came out, you know what I'm saying? And so I decided to just keep the peace and walk the fuck away. Like, I'd be the walker away, like, as soon as fucking possible. However, I've decided to take on this, well, I've always been courageous because you need courage to fucking walk away too. But I also need to understand that I'm not the only one in this world, and I need to. I mean, in the future, I'm gonna have a family. In the future, I wanna be in a relationship, in an awesome power couple relationship. I also want to have a powerful and like wealthy company filled with powerful people. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and I don't know what that means just yet. I just feel like authentic people, good people, just all that good stuff, like mixed into it all, in all those aspects. So I have to be one to have the courage enough to start speaking my truth so that other people can hear it and other people can either say, I am willing to adjust to it, or like in terms of not just adjust to me because I'm in control. No, it's adjust yourself to be happier, and so that we could both have a win-win situation. Or I'm getting the fuck out, or you get the fuck out. Like it's literally that. It's that easy. You know what I'm saying? Decision making is that easy. It's just that a lot of people have a lot of emotions attached to it, and the thing is, the key is detachment of emotions, so that you can literally you can feel emotions as to what's going on, but once you make a decision, you need to detach from it. It's like you can't go backwards and say, yo, I had this though, but I had this though, but blah 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 blah. No, fuck that, dude. You're going in the direction of better, 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 better. You know what I'm saying? Best, best, best. And because that's better is just like one scale up. Best is like highest and best, baby. That's the difference. So I'm not going for better. I'm going for best. So again, another correction out of me. But so yeah, so okay, so basically with this full moon, I had to release a person out of my life, and that was not. It's not easy for anybody because I don't like to treat people as if they're heartless. Do you know what I'm saying? As if like they're just like an object. So I am not like that whatsoever. So don't misconstrue what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say, for me, I know what's best, and I need to side with that shit all the time, and I need to be in alignment with that shit all the time. And also, I was a pure teacher in that, in expressing myself with when it comes down to my truth. I was in essence a teacher to her without having to express too much, because now you are simply aware, and that's all I need you to do. I need you to be aware, you know, of what your actions are doing, you know. I mean, listen, it doesn't take too much to see what's going on in another person's world. I mean, maybe it does. I don't know, because I do it so well. And this is not out of judgment. This is out of pure observation. Like, for instance, a person who doesn't have, by speaking, when a person speaks and they speak on a lower level, aspect of themselves. So they're using the J word, jealousy. That shit does not exist in my world. So I can't have people who are constantly using that J word around me. They're no longer here. I've fucking dealt with them. She was one of them. But I was like, oh, let me just like, and I actually told her straight up a couple of times, I was like, don't say that shit. If we're friends, there should be no J at all. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole thing is, to be J, you are actually siding with your insecurities and not out of your strengths, right? And to be in a friendship, to have a strong friendship, you both need to be coming out of your strengths. And if there's a weakness, you talk about your weaknesses. You say, hey, you know, when you do this, I fucking feel this way, and like, you know, help me process it or whatever. Like, you know, it's like, it's so easy to go there, but the thing is, it's like people are not willing to kind of like give it observation in terms of why they're feeling this way. But a lot of the times you can't feel that because you're not willing to go inside. And people that go inside, they know how to wake the fuck up. They if you're not observant before, like if you weren't born observant like I was, you go into meditation to wake the fuck up. And I've came to this world woken the fuck up, right? But I just got really like, whoa, expansively waking the fuck up across the years of being here. And dude, I've learned so much. So that's my thing. So, you know, to close this video off, I can go for hours, but to close this video off, to you know, kind of end it, I need you to seriously, you know, do whatever it takes, like meditate, or, you know, you gotta there's some sort of awareness that you have to bring to yourself. So whether it's being more open to truth that comes your way, whether it's meditating to, you know, listen to your own truth within, you must do these things. Also, do make decisions and follow through on those decisions that are gut-based feelings. And also, just you have to do these things. I'm trying to recap this video, but there's so much that has been said. But what I actually kind of am gonna bounce back into for just 1 second is, you can tell a person by how they physically look. You can tell a person by, what, like, with the stuff that they say, that if it's low vibrational, it's like, are you willing to put up with that shit? Because you can express yourself, you can bring awareness to them, but if they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, but just not doing anything about it, you're gonna have the friend that's literally that old friend, that basically a person that's not willing to change. And it's not for you, it's for themselves, so that they can actually open up to a better world for themselves. But if they're not ready for it, they're not going to change, and you're stuck with them the way that they are. So it's like, are you willing to put up with that? Third, women. I love women so much, and in terms of, just how powerful we are and how strong we are, and I'm always willing to be on everybody's side, on the respectful side. I'm not stupid about it, don't get me wrong, I am not fucking stupid about it. The whole thing is, and I never will be, thank God, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, everybody can do their own thing. I know that I won't ever fucking be stupid about it when it comes to me, because I don't play. I fucking know how I want to live my life. I'm living it, and I'm driven towards it. I'm driven towards the best. So if you're with me, come with me. If not, but the thing is, it's like, you can't come with me if you're not fucking making changes, because I'm not going to be the only one doing these changes for myself, and then, like, oh, let me gather up all these people who don't give a fuck. Like, no, that's not the truth. I want to be around people who give a fuck, and who have been making these strides and these leaps, and because that's what it takes, you know what I'm saying? And the people that haven't done it, they don't fucking appreciate it. That's what I'm trying to say. So I need to feel appreciated in my life, and these people who are going around talking about Jay this, Jay that, haters, whatever you want to call them, they're not at your level. You just have to be real with yourself. They're not at your level. You love them, but they can no longer be around. Also, what was I gonna say? Also, you can see when a woman, and there's so many women that I can fucking pinpoint, that, like, literally they don't have other women as friends, because they have not accepted that women are actually really good. I believe that women are really good. It's just that some women decide to be out for themselves and not enough for the group clan of us all. Do you know what I'm saying? Hence the girl code. You know what I'm saying? The girl code is created out of fucking respect. And I was like, and I always laughed, because, like, I always thought to myself how easy it is for guys to stick to their guy code no matter what. They don't give a shit. They play us girls around like no problem. You know what I'm saying? They'll fucking do shit, like, they'll all be in a circle of guys, and one girl can go around to each guy and fucking do shit with them, and they would be like, yo, what up, bro? Like, they don't totally be fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't give a shit about the female involved, but they give a shit about their guys. Do you know what I'm saying? And so many guys, I mean, there are guys that act like girls and vice versa, but but I've noticed that there's so many women that are so, and this is a complete truth, maybe not, hopefully not for long, but for right now, so many women are not grown-ass women, so they can't be women to themselves or to another woman, right? It's like, it's just about self-love. They have not self-loved themselves enough to, and they feel threatened, because they're actually, these people are, the women that are not friends with other women, they're actually more sided with their insecurities than they are their strengths, so that they like literally see, it's like, not insecurity in other people, but they see threats out of every woman that they think own their insecurities. Isn't that fucking fucked up? Like, if you really slow down that video, like, if you repeated that again, you'll know that that's the fucking truth. It's crazy. And that's the whole thing. Like, I'm trying, and whenever, like, actually, you know what's so funny? This is another story. There's I was working at an office at one point, and somebody had come to me, and I was, like, laughing so hard, because I give compliments to women all the time, because I just love what I see. I love how they wear their hair. I love fashion. I love what people, tend to wear. I give guys and girls compliments, but I think girls take it in a different way, right? So I was working in an office, and somebody came up to me. I don't know if somebody told me or they came up to me, and they were like, they're like, Tina, you know, for the longest time I thought that you were gay, because they were like, you walk around and you give all these women compliments, and you know, like, who does that? And I'm like, I do that. Like, it's just crazy. So my whole thing is, oh, you know how hard, like, if you would have been there, you would have saw how hard I laughed. But I'm like, isn't that sad? That, like, now people are thinking that I'm gay because, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but because, you know what, also in the gay community, there are people that are hating on other fucking women for just being women, because it's not a gay or a straight thing. It's a sex thing. It's like, it's literally like, I don't even know if it is a sex thing, but it's like, basically, like, we can't seem to unite, and that's the whole thing. And I'm such a uniter, and I don't give a fuck what has to be done. I just do it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so people, and the truth is, I'm not gay. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just like one of those things, like, and I don't know why I hesitated. I was just like trying to think, like, do I want to share that or whatever? But again, it's my authentic self. Whatever comes out, it comes out, you know? And the whole thing is, it's like, you know, yeah, I mean, because sometimes, you know, it's funny, like, oh, it's just so crazy, like, you know, I don't know, I'm like such a, because it's, that I'll just save it for another video, but it's just so interesting about how, you know, just like, when you become so open, like, what you fucking start thinking about, you know what I'm saying? Hence why I'm the illuminated muse, and I fucking muse all the time. Like, I just muse it up, and I have fun with doing it. So I'm gonna end the video here, guys, and yeah, it's already an hour in, holy shit. But definitely send this video around to your people. Have so much fun purging and releasing around this full moon, because it needs to happen. Like, it's only for your good. So don't, if you're feeling a certain way, if you're feeling kind of low vibes, yo, breathe into that shit. If you have to cry, cry it out. If you have to sit in a space by yourself, do that for yourself. Like, you have to literally be with your emotions. Like, my family's outside. I had to actually at one point come in because there was so much swirling around me. There was like a beat, like, I felt like I was like, whoa, and I was like, yo, I have to come upstairs and I have to just like be for a second. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna, you know, so it's all yin yang. I'm like, literally, now that I have my time, I'm gonna go back out there. I'm gonna hang out with them. And that should be literally, I was thinking about even having it go live, because these characters out here are fucking hilarious. You've never seen something like this. But the thing is, like, I don't know if I want everybody seeing my family's crazy. Anyhow, I love you guys so much. Enjoy the full moon, and we shall talk. Bye. Mwah. Let me find the stop button.